everybody. So today we're going to talk about night driving. A couple tips I got for you that I use. We'll see if it helps. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm going to video this in my red light since we're talking night driving. So just some quick tips that I've learned I wanted to share with y'all. You experienced drivers, feel free to comment and let me know what tips you use to help get you through the night. I wrote them down so I could be kind of, direct to the point, and hopefully those will be some helpful tips for you. Things I've experienced. One thing is, make sure the shipper and receiver's office is open at night, because I'm sitting here at the TA waiting for my office to open. I should have called and just made sure. I just assumed that they were open and they're not. So I'm wasting a little bit of time. So probably want to make sure that office is open, because they will have limited hours on your in the evening, or early mornings, depending on which customer you're going to. So make sure that they're open. Number two is night vision. If you do not have good night vision, then it's probably not a good idea for you to be driving, choosing to drive at night. I like it. I've always liked driving at night. When I was in the Navy, I liked working at night. I used to move airplanes from the hangar bay up to the flight deck. I got on the night shift, and I don't know what it is about night, but it works for me. I like it. It seems to be my normal. The traffic is usually much lighter. That's one of the big benefits. So you're able to get your optimum speed, pretty much go whatever you're maxed, whatever you're limited to. Like, we're at 65. So that's fine with me. If I can cruise down the road at 65, I get good miles. So that's probably the biggest benefit. Number three is the weather. If the roads are clear, then it's great, but it is if it's raining, or if you've got snow, sleet, ice, night driving's not optimal at all. It's dangerous. So keep that in mind when you're trip planning. One thing that you will run into a lot is fog. It's beautiful when it's off to the left or right, but not when it's right in front of you and you feel like you're driving through a cloud. So it is dangerous. So keep that in mind and be careful. Don't use your brights when you're driving through the fog. And sometimes I'll put my flashers on when I'm driving through the fog. I'd like to hear from some of the drivers and let me know what you think about that, if that's okay to do. So number four is drunk drivers, especially if you're driving through the weekend. 2 a.m. is not always a good time to be on the road. As a truck driver, I have not personally had any problems with any drivers appearing that they were intoxicated or under the influence, but I know that it's out there, and when you're driving a 70-foot vehicle, 100 feet per second, which is about 65 miles an hour, you just don't ever know. You got to assume everybody's going to be trying to cut in front of you. So be careful about that. Number five, pit stops. This is kind of an interesting one. At nighttime, normally when you want to go take a leak, you'll just pull over to the rest area, do your business, get back on the road and go, and you can get in and out in 2-3 minutes. But at nighttime, it's a totally different story. At nighttime, you find that, especially up along the East Coast, but I'm sure it's everywhere, the rest areas are not only full, they're over full. They're people parked everywhere. Sometimes they're hard to even just get through. So what I do at night is, when I'm driving down the road, I'll see my Google Maps. I've got my phone mounted right here where you can see it, and it's easy to reach. It's about as hands-free as I can get. I'll look at an intersection. If the off-ramp comes up to the road and then goes back onto the on-ramp, if I see that's a clear travel right over, then I'll go off the off-ramp. I'll come up, stop, look both ways, and then I'll go over it and then stop to the right. So as I'm getting on the on-ramp, I'll pull over and take care of business, and then get right back on the road. And that works great. You do want to kind of look to make sure it looks like you can go over, because it will you'll spend some time, about 15 minutes at minimum. If for some reason you cannot go straight over, you're gonna go right, and you're gonna have to find a place to turn around, and that could be a mess. So it's a little bit risky. That's why I try to look on the map to see if it looks like I can get over it. And most of the times it works out really well. So again, truckers, those who are following me, if you guys have any other suggestions, that would be great. I don't like, it's called sitting duck. I don't like to pull over on the emergency side of the road, you know, with cars going by. I just don't do that unless it's an emergency. Sometimes it is an emergency. If you gotta go, you gotta go. So keep that in mind. That's been real helpful. And number 6 is there are a lot of incredible sunrises that you get to experience, and that's been very rewarding. And the other part of it is by the time the sun rises, half of your driving is over for the day. So it kind of breaks the day up for me. And so that's about it. So I hope that helped.